Hey everybody, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors this week. And if you've watched the show over the last couple of weeks, you've noticed a little lack of ice fishing. Well, it's not for lack of trying. After 4 or 5 failed attempts, we finally have kind of enough scraped together for a good hard water story for you this week.
We do, and another good thing to do this time of year is to get out there and chase after bunnies. We're going to bring you a rabbit hunting tournament with a twist. There were no dogs allowed out there. We had a lot of fun. You'll have to make sure you see that.
That's right. We also have a critter corner section for you kids out there and a new product that you might be interested in as well. Lots of good stuff on this week's show, so you stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger.
And I'm Jenny Olson, and it's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's the love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by GreenStone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of GreenStone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By Meyer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meyer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meyer. By Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises of Munising, exploring Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore with its sandstone cliffs, caves, waterfalls, and lighthouses. Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises on the web at picturedrocks.com. By Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen.
Hi, I'm Jordan Brown, and for this week's show, I was headed south to an area of the state that didn't really get the chance to ice fish at all in the 2012 season because of the lack of good ice. This year there was plenty of good ice, and I was tagging along with a couple of guys competing in the 3rd annual Tip-Up Festival at the Big 9 Sportsman's Club. The plan today was to spend the morning on the ice, and then head back to the club around lunch to cover the final weigh-in. Today I was fishing with Skeeter Warner and a couple of others, trying to find some nice bluegills, and maybe even a few northerns.
Jordan, we're down on Marble Lake, down here in Branch County, just out of Coldwater, Michigan, Quincy, Michigan. It's a big chain, a really big chain. And actually yesterday the fish were biting here. Come down and we did a lot of holes and checking stuff out. Found some fish because we knew you were coming, and then, of course, today they're gone. You know, they're not gone, they're just not feeding. Of course, we got an east wind today, and you know, it shouldn't make a difference on ice fishing, I've heard, but it does. I think it does, or at least to me it does mentally. And we're just struggling catching keepers. But it's still fun fishing, but we're just not getting the good fish that we caught yesterday. It's actually not a bad eat size, will you? A little bit better. Yeah, he's a little better. He's, what, 7? Of course, I got short fingers. God. How many of these today have we got? These, it takes a real pro to catch one the size of this fish. When he could barely get the jig in his mouth, and I could barely get the jig out of his mouth. Oh, he has got, now look at that slab. Yeah, get it real close and maybe he'll look bigger. Look at this one.
Hey, that's better than average.
Man, oh man, isn't he something? That's a big jig. It's really a lot bigger fish than you think. It's the size of the jig makes him look little. Yesterday they were up a couple feet, anywhere up to 4 feet off the bottom. Today, I'm in 11 feet of water right now, and the fish are right smack on the bottom. And you can get one to come up every now and then, but they just don't want to feed. They just plain don't want to eat today. And like I said, I don't understand it. We're in the same area we was here yesterday, and we caught tons of fish. And I guess that's what happens when you get a front coming in and the wind switches. But like I say, it's amazing that an east wind bothers with ice on a lake, but I really feel it does. And I think it's obvious today. We're using the same color baits, and plus I probably tried 10 to 12 different colors, and that doesn't seem to be a factor either. So, so it's just been a tough day. I'll tell you what, that's a nice fish. Anywhere you go. Of course, my hands are small, but it makes that fish look really big, don't it? That's what counts. But that one there has some meat on it, there's no question. Good, healthy fish.
Well, the fishing didn't go quite as planned, but we did leave the ice with a few keepers. Before we headed back to the club, Skeeter insisted that we all come to his place to try some of his very own fish batter on some of the fish they'd caught the day before.
Jordan, you don't have to do anything with this batter mix. All you do is do nothing to your fish or meat. I mean, it works on pork chops, anything. You just put them in there. This is one of them shakers that you can buy. You shake them up. It's the easiest thing in the world. You cannot fix anything wrong with this. You just take them out of this, just like that. You can make a wet batter if you want with this. I like it dry because I made it to be a real light batter mix. But you know, one of the biggest things, people don't have their oil hot enough when they fry anything. And I get calls from people that'll say, well, you know, I have trouble with the breading not staying on. And then you ask them what temperature they fry their stuff in. And it's usually 250, 275. And that is one of the key things why your breading won't stay on is your oil's not hot enough. So, because that's the worst thing you can do is put anything in oil that's too cold. It just lays there and it doesn't really cook. You get it hot enough, it sears that fish and it locks in all the flavors. Well, I've been making the breading about 4 years. I actually started because of everything that was on the market I wasn't that happy with because I used to fish a lot more. And I actually used to catch fish, not like today, but I actually used to catch fish. And so I decided to try to come up with my own batter mix. I wanted a real light breading. And of course, after my wife quit laughing, it took me about a year or better later, and I finally come up with it. But it took me that long to come up with it. It was really hard to make it light, you know, and still have good flavor. But there's a lot of seasonings in this. There's no preservatives, no MSGs, and that was another hard thing to actually get, to find the ingredients to do that with it. But that's really all there is to it, right there. But the whole key, and I'm telling you, is get your oil hot enough. You're going to get some splatters, yeah, but I'd rather have splatters than poor food.
After filling up on some very good bluegill, we headed to the club, which had a new look this year after a fire claimed the old building last March. Although the new club was still in the process of being built, a parking lot full of people showed it didn't seem to matter.
Okay, this year we started out, which I think I told you last year, Jordan, that I wanted to go 10 days and eventually be known as Little Houghton Lake. And we are still going to pursue that, but with the club burning, it was a little tough. We canceled a lot of things because of not having the club. Last March 3rd, we were getting ready for our Friday night supper, and lo and behold, all members started calling each other that the club was on fire. So everybody came down, and she was ablazing, and there was just no saving it. So we started building the new building, and we're going from there. So it's been a challenging year. A lot of the members have been working to help get things done, but the process is a little slow.
Although the fire was a setback for the club, They still had a great turnout and showed resiliency by continuing the event even without the finished clubhouse. Doug plans to continue to grow the tournament as well as adding new events in upcoming years.
You know, we would like to draw more area. It's hard to get known, and it just takes years and years to do that. Like I said, we wanted snowmobile races and sportsman's banquet and just all different kinds of things, a wild game dinner, and just to bring everybody together and make it a 10-day full eventful things. You know, sledding for the kids, sledding races, ice skating races. We even had the snow dogs. I think I told you last year I had snow dogs coming down for rides for this year, and I had to cancel that. So, because we just didn't have a club. But next year we will, and hopefully Michigan Outdoors will come down, and by golly, we're gonna have one rip snorting time.
The future looks bright for the Big 9 Sportsman's Club, and I think everyone was happy to see such a large turnout. Special thanks to Doug Keller and Skeeter Warner for letting me tag along on this year's tournament.
Well, we always joke here at Michigan Out of Doors that February in Michigan, there's a lot of ice fishing and a lot of rabbit hunting to do. Well, there was a rabbit hunt with a twist that happened not so long ago over in the Port Huron area. It was a rabbit hunting competition.
A couple of weeks ago, on a cold Saturday morning, a bunch of rabbit hunters were gearing up for the annual Bunny Bowl competition just north and west of Port Huron. I hopped in the truck with Rodney Forbes, his brother-in-law Bob Comp, and coworker Chris Downing. These guys were already having fun.
What's the temperature today?
It is a balmy 14 degrees.
Whew, a little breezy too. But you can't bring dogs on this tournament?
No, no dogs. Actually, each team usually has a man that's a dog.
Pete happens to be ours.
Yeah, who's your dog?
Pete.
Pete, all right.
Pete, yeah,
Pete's cooking too?
He brings his little stick and his probe, and he probes all the little holes and all the, he gets the rabbits out. He's really good at it.
So what's going on in here?
Time to eat.
This is the highlight of your day?
This is the best part of the day.
Breakfast.
Rabbits come second to breakfast.
I can see why these guys look forward to breakfast. Pete and his wife Stephanie had quite the spread waiting inside, and just outside the front door, Pete has some pretty good rabbit hunting land too.
Well, it's mainly woods with some thick stuff mixed in. We're going to try to, since we don't have any stone, we're going to try to do a little rabbit drive, and hopefully that'll pay off. In the past, we've done real well. We usually kill 8 or 9 rabbits out here. We'll see what happens today. I don't know. We're gonna try. If the weather's not really what we wanted. We wanted about 4 inches of snow to make it a little bit easier to see them. So your job is going to be tough to see them.
All right. So who's the best shot out here?
The best shot?
Is there one?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
The guys pushed through the first chunk of woods with nothing to show for it, so on to the second spot. Bob and I were just getting into position as the blockers when Pete jumped a rabbit and was able to get off a shot. We never even caught a glimpse of this one.
So what happened there? One down, eh?
Yeah, one down. Was headed that way, decided to turn, so of course the camera didn't get a shot. But we managed to get one.
Cool.
We'll see what happens.
Where is this rabbit?
Over here by Rodney.
Okay, Rodney. First rabbit down, hey?
Number 1.
Let's see him. Beauty. Good shooting, man.
With one rabbit in the game bag, we hit the last spot here at Pete's place. Boy, he wasn't kidding when he said we'd be hunting some thick stuff. Hunting rabbits without a dog really makes you appreciate how much they do. We were seeing lots of tracks, but we're having a hard time catching up with them. As we wrestled through a tangle, we heard Bob shoot out on the edge of the woods for bunny number 2.
So let's see. Got one out there on the edge, huh?
Yep. Well, I was blocking. I was waiting for them to push it to me, and it came right up to me. Probably about 50-yard shot, 45-yard shot. It was just sitting on the ground. Not a hard shot. Anybody could have made it.
Boy, the camera's in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Well,
But
yeah.
you guys are doing all right on them, I guess.
Yeah, we're doing okay. We could be doing better.
This thick cover was making it tough to find the rabbits with the camera, but the guys were picking away at them.
We'll see what happens. it's going to be a tough deal, I think, with this. There's not much snow, no way to track them, no way to see them, so
Yeah.
it's going to be hard. They're either holding real tight or they're running way far ahead of us. So we'll move on and push this little bit here and go to the next spot and see what happens.
What do you got going here? You got a little GoPro action?
Yeah, we're going to give this a try. Seems how the camera's always in the opposite spot the rabbit is. We're gonna see if we can at least get a little bit of footage anyways. Not much fun to watch just a rabbit after it's shot.
Right. Okay, cool.
So
good idea.
We're going to give it a try.
Right there. Oh, there you go.
Oh, too far, bud.
Well, this will be a better spot, I'd say.
Should be, yeah. Starting out better.
We do this every year. It's called the Bunny Bowl. Easiest way to remember is that it's the day before the Super Bowl.
All right, how long has it been going on?
I think about 5 years, right around 5-6 years we've been doing it now.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about the competition.
Typically we just have 20 teams. We cap it at 20 teams. Everyone just kind of goes out in the morning. We go by legal Michigan rules, and we just go out, and typically everyone tries to get 20 rabbits, and then we meet back at the Dorsey House there near Port Huron, and we just go in, have a good time, and have raffles, and we do it all for a charity every year. We've this year I believe it's for Cancer Relief. So.
Okay, and how much is it per team to get in?
Per team it's 120 this year, and again we have raffles and stuff, and a lot of that will go towards charity that we're doing, and then we have raffles and stuff, so the guys will win prizes and stuff. So you got to be back by 3 o'clock. Everyone's got to be back for weigh-in at 3 o'clock. Of course, no dogs, so a lot of times each team has got a guy that's jumping the piles and trying to get the rabbits moving. Today's going to be a day where the rabbits probably aren't going to be moving a lot, so we're going to be trying to push a lot, and we'll have our human dog in there trying to get the rabbits out. So.
After hitting several spots, the guys were down to the last of their honey holes for rabbits. The clock was ticking closer to the 3 o'clock weigh-in time, and the team had 7 rabbits so far. They were able to flush one more out of a brush pile, and after lobbing a bunch of lead at it, Pete dropped it. That made 8 out of a possible 20 rabbits for the tournament.
It's 10 after 2 right now, guys. We ain't got much time. We're getting down to the wire.
A lot of folks are curious about what happens to all the meat on these small game tournaments, so I asked Rodney about today's rabbits.
We usually save a couple. I do, and a couple other guys on the team do, and then we've got some neighbors and stuff, so that usually goes to people that want them, and then if we have extras, we actually go to the soup kitchen. We give some to the soup kitchen. We've actually used them. One time we donated all of our money to the charity of the local soup kitchen once too. We kind of split it up every year. We try to do a different charity every year.
Back at the Dorsey House restaurant, the teams were rolling in. Greg Randall is one of the organizers here and started the weigh-in.
We got a lot of groups that got 20, so you got 4-man teams. You're allowed 5 rabbits per hunter, so we have to weigh them in here, because we have first, second, and third prize. So we have to weigh them in to see who's got the total weight, and we'll win the first place prize.
Nice.
While there is some friendly competition and a little banter back and forth about who would win this year's Bunny Bowl, these guys are really here for another reason that's more important than bringing in the heaviest game bag today. This group of sportsmen comes together and donates their time, money, and raffle items for a good cause.
All these prizes up here are prizes that Greg and all his friends have helped donate, and people here have donated. This is going to help go towards the Relay for Life.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Angie's Amazing Grace, our team that we started for a dear friend of ours. So we appreciated all of these. We've made a great number of sales already from these raffle prizes, so we can't thank you enough. We've already, I think, exceeded what we made last year at our single fundraiser that we did. We appreciate it very, very much, so thank you.
The festivities continued with the first place prize going to the team who had 20 rabbits and a total of 64.1 pounds. Greg says they hope to grow the Bunny Bowl competition into something a little bigger with more teams involved and more fundraising for charity. What a great idea and a great way to spend the day here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Hi, I'm Jamie Gretzinger, and welcome to Critter Corner, where us kids and adults get to learn a little bit more about a Michigan critter. This week we want to take a look at the snowshoe hare. The snowshoe's home is a shallow nest that will be found in uncut grassy areas or open fields. Unlike the eastern cottontail rabbit, which makes a nest that will be 4 to 6 inches below the ground, the snowshoe hare lives completely above ground and just uses tall grassy or shrubby areas for cover. They can also be found in swamps, riverside thickets, cedar bogs, and low areas with conifer trees. In the winter months, the snowshoe hare will be all white except for its black-tipped ears. In the spring and fall, the snowshoe hare will shed its summer and winter coat and get its new one. Baby snowshoes are born with their eyes open and will have fur, and they will also be able to run within an hour of being born. The snowshoe hare mothers do not stay with their young all the time. They leave them in a well-hidden area and only see them a couple times a day in order to nurse them. The reason that this hare is called the snowshoe hare is because the hair on its hind feet act like snowshoes in the snow, making it easy for them to walk around. Thanks to our friends at Michigan's Wildlife for helping us learn a little bit more about this cool Michigan critter. If you would like to learn a little bit more about a Michigan critter, get your parents' permission and send us your critter question on Facebook. We hope to bring you a new Critter Corner at least once a month. So until then, get outside and enjoy Michigan's Out of Doors.
Well, from time to time, we like to highlight new products here on Michigan Out of Doors, and when it comes to new products, there's a couple of them that I'm kind of a sucker for. One is new knives. I'm always looking for kind of the latest, greatest knife that's going to be out there, and the other one is lights, whether that's handheld or headlamps, whatever it is. I came across a light recently that kind of had me intrigued, and I thought we'd show you a little bit about this product. It's very different, and it's made right here in the state of Michigan. A week or so back found me in one of my favorite parts of the state, the Leelanau Peninsula on Lake Leelanau. Now, we were here to ice fish, but also take a look at a new outdoor product. The folks at Telerex recently told me about a thermoelectric light that uses no batteries of any kind, so I had to come take a peek. The folks here just outside of Traverse City have put together a small thermoelectric generator that's about the size of a coffee cup and will run an LED light for up to 4 hours or more on one little tea candle. So curious to check it out and hoping to come home with a pile of perch, I headed north to see what this light was all about. Dave Waters from Telerex took me out so that we could see this little light in a real-world setup as night fell. Yeah, Dave, who do we got with us here today?
Oh, we got my son Tim and Aaron Worm.
All right. These are the expert ice anglers you were telling me about?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Where are we at today?
We're on the north end of Lake Leelanau.
Okay.
Just north of the Narrows.
And what are we fishing for today? Anything that'll bite, or?
Yeah, but
perch.
Probably perch.
Okay.
More than likely.
Perch, and hopefully later tonight we'll be getting some walleye tonight.
Okay. With the lines in the water, things looked pretty good right off the bat.
Oh, nice. There's a good.
Yeah. Pull them up there. With the sun setting, we pulled out the teapot to see what this little unit can do.
Well, this is a teapot. It's a small thermoelectric generator, and it's powered by a tea candle.
Okay.
And tea candle heats up an element in there, generates some electricity. It takes a little bit of time for it to get the heat difference. Once it does, the LED will start to glow, and it puts out a fair amount of light.
This light did seem to have some good application for the outdoorsman.
They're good for any place where you don't have electricity. So they'd be good for backpacking into wilderness areas or wilderness cabin. If you're going out hunting someplace and want to have it in your camp.
Yeah, probably camping would be perfect.
Camping would work
camping
real good.
would be perfect with that.
You know, inside your ice shanty.
There you go. Well, it's nice because you can turn it on and off.
Yeah. And, you know, one little tea candle will burn for about 3.5 or 4 hours.
Okay.
And it has almost no carbon monoxide emissions, and it's really a nice clean form.
So there you have it, a new invention that gives off almost no harmful emissions, will run for hours with no noise or odor, and can easily be turned on and off when needed. Even though the fishing tonight turned out to be pretty slow, it's always interesting to see what kind of products we as outdoorsmen can come up with. I hope to be back to Lake Leelanau yet this ice season to get some of the perch and walleye this body of water holds. If you'd like some more info on this product, we will have contact information in the credits of the show.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. If you're watching this on Thursday night, we are actually at Outdoorama in Novi for Big Buck Night. We're taping that now. You'll get to see that in a few weeks. And that actually kicks off Outdoorama this weekend all through Sunday. If you have a chance, get down there and check it out.
That's right. That's always a lot of fun. And if you missed part of this week's show or last week's show, want to see what we've been up to, you can always check out our website at MichiganOutofDoorsTV.com. And if you do the Facebook thing, we're on there pretty much every other day or so, letting you know what's going on as we try to bring you brand new episodes of Michigan Out of Doors every week. Thanks so much for joining us this week, and hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by ZIMMER Roofing and Construction in Port Huron, featuring Duralast roofing systems made in Michigan. ZIMMER Roofing and Construction provides installation, maintenance, service, and repair, serving commercial and residential clients on the web at zimmerroofing.com. By Showspan, producing consumer shows including Outdoorama February 21st through the 24th at Novi's Suburban Collection Showplace. The show features tackle, trips, boats, outfitters, wildlife encounters, and of course, Big Buck Night. That's Outdoorama in Novi, February 21st through the 24th. By Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas energy in homes, farms, and businesses across our great state. Learn more at usemichiganpropane.com. By Meyer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meyer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meyer. Closed captioning is brought to you by Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas to outdoor enthusiasts across our great state.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene.